After 4 years and 1 IGN Game of the Year award, Overwatch has evolved into a multiplayer shooter that remains at the top of the class. It's a dizzying amalgam of unique character design, stunningly realised style, and compellingly dynamic action. Minutes turn into hours as you're caught up in round after magically exciting round, surrounded by gorgeously crafted maps packed with detail and charm. Overwatch, simply put, is the most fun I've ever had playing a video game.
Like Newton and apples.
When we originally reviewed Overwatch in 2016, we called it an incredible achievement in multiplayer shooter design, and one that provides nearly endless opportunities for exhilarating coordinated play, and when you're the one at the centre of it, it feels like nothing else. And even while it's dramatically expanded its roster of distinctive characters and maps since then, none of what made it truly special has changed. It still centres around taking and controlling points on the map or escorting payloads from one end to the other, all at the expense of the enemy team's health bars. It's a simple setup and not an altogether original one, but it's the nuance found in how you go about winning each match that makes Overwatch so brilliant. This is a universe bursting with character, not least displayed in the 32 characters themselves. Blizzard has created a world where anything goes and everything flourishes. The robust Reinhardt harks from a high fantasy setting familiar from past Blizzard games. The cyber-drenched Sombra is science fiction incarnate and wouldn't look out of place on the streets of Night City. Then there's the wise and occasionally wild Winston, who could pass as a gorilla cosplaying as Beast from X-Men. Brigitte with her centuries-old mace that's partnered with an energy shield that feels airlifted from a different era of existence. The geneticist Moira can summon biotic orbs from her palms, and then evade all incoming damage by fading onto an ethereal plane. Then there's Wrecking Ball, a maniacal hamster that rolls around in a spherical mech of death flanked by 2 chattering machine guns. It's all a bit delightfully mad. They're largely inspired by but not simply copy and pasted from other media. Each one is lovingly designed. As a bonus, their interactions before and during matches provide entertaining chemistry and lore aside from the combat unfurling. Having been along for the ride as Blizzard stirred the pot with new additions has been a thrill. Sigma proved difficult to counter at first, especially when paired with Orisa to create a double barrier hellscape. This was just another puzzle to solve though, and his introduction saw a noticeable rise in the amount of close quarter specialists such as Doomfist and Reaper appearing on the battlefield. As a result, I found myself frequently enjoying stringing together combos as Doomfist, a character I'd hardly touched before. The final hero until Overwatch 2, Echo, recently joined the party, and her ultimate is a real game changer. Echo can take the form of any member on the other team and use all of their abilities, and that lets you effectively have 2 of the same hero on your team, which we haven't been allowed to do in years. It's somewhat fitting that the last addition to the roster echoes back to how Overwatch was originally played when it came out in 2016. This is, in essence, the beauty of Overwatch. It offers choice in abundance, and even after 700 hours played, there are still heroes I'm not overly familiar with, so I can switch to them and everything feels completely fresh again. I've put an amount of time that would disgust many into Hanzo's bow and arrow skill set, but when I found myself tiring of him slightly, I decided to transfer my sniping skills over to Ana and healed my teammates instead. That was a refreshingly different form of satisfaction. Not every character is for everyone though, and that's absolutely fine, and to an extent, that's the point of Overwatch. There's an avenue for any type of player to find an accessible hero. Soldier 76 is as close to a standard character as you'll see in any other shooter, while Mercy is a great jumping in point for rookies because she can hang back out of danger and support allies. Find someone you click with and before you'll know it you'll be earning plays of the game, the automatically chosen moment of a match that's replayed for everyone at the end. Watching back these pivotal moments never fails to put a smile on my face, even to this day. By far the biggest fundamental improvement during Overwatch's 4-year lifespan is the long requested and relatively recently introduced role lock system. What you may lose in flexibility from being limited to 2 characters from each class, you gain in a more satisfyingly balanced experience. It's worth the longer matchmaking times to not suffer the horror of consistently being on an unbalanced team. I have to admit that I was skeptical of role queue when it was first announced, but I couldn't be happier to have been wrong. And if the chaos of old is what you're craving, then classic quick play still exists in the arcade section of the menu for that dose of anarchic nostalgia. The iridescent universe that Overwatch inhabits is clear to see within seconds of booting up. Each map has its own colourful twist on a realish world location that varies from moonlit London streets to a colony on the moon. It's embellishments like that that set Overwatch's map pool apart from other multiplayer games, while also providing informative ornamentation for anyone willing to look a little closer. They're not only breathtaking to look at, but also brilliantly designed on a gameplay level. The launch maps were great, and all of the new additions have been a roaring success. From the beautiful Blizzard world that is laden with references to the studio's other games, to the sun-drenched oasis that provides some of Overwatch's best close quarters firefights. The lone exception in my judgment is the recently introduced Paris map, which has a single choke point that can be less than fun to make your way through. Each location provides its own challenge, and learning them intricately is mandatory for success. Knowing that using Symmetra to create a teleporter across the left-hand side of Volskaya Industries to bypass an intimidating defensive setup can lead to an accelerated point capture. Knowing where to pull off a devastating ultimate ability can turn a game in your favour in an instant. Getting the high ground and unleashing McCree's High Noon has won me and my team many a match. It's these moments that ultimately make Overwatch so special. The ability to work as a team to win is a wholly satisfying experience, and when all of the gears are in motion, there's nothing quite like it. But it also offers those special moments where an individual play can win the match for your team, and a rush of adrenaline makes its way through your body that very few other games can replicate.
Victory!
Overwatch is a one-of-a-kind hero shooter that is far and away the best of its genre. It offers variety, depth and style that very few come close to matching. Its 4-year-old foundation has been lovingly crafted into the unparalleled multiplayer experience that it offers today. From its now-cherished characters, expertly crafted maps, and outstanding sound design, it's a masterpiece of competitive gameplay. Most importantly of all though, it's never stopped being ridiculously fun after all these years. All of these factors combine to make Overwatch a singularly special shooter, and one that I would recommend to anyone without hesitation. For more on Overwatch, check out our review of the Nintendo Switch version, or the announcement cinematic for Overwatch 2.